She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. This is the show where every single day we bring you content to help you succeed better in your life. And I mean all areas of your life, not according to what status quo calls success, because Lord knows they want to just wrap you up into consumerism and make you completely addicted to everything that ruins your life. I'm talking about real success, the success that actually you want. Do you even know what you want? If you don't, stick with us long enough, you're going to define success for you because you don't want to live somebody else's life. Here every day on the Dani Johnson Show, our entire team works hard to be able to bring content to you to help you define it and go after it. We want to equip you to succeed wildly at home as well as in the marketplace. Today we're going to be talking about something very unusual. We have one of our favorite clients, Jan and Linda Potgieter. Linda is going to be joining us. They've been faithful clients for the last several years. They have had a tremendous transformation in their life, not only a saved and healed and restored marriage, but as well as they are completely debt-free now, which I'll have her tell you that story. But more importantly, she is a woman who's all about fashion, not only fashion design, but helping you dress in such a way that helps to communicate what you really want to communicate out there at work as well as at home and in your community. Does it really matter what you wear? I have to tell you a quick story. I had met a man, a very successful, wealthy man who comes from generational wealth. My husband and I obviously don't come from generational wealth. We come from welfare. We come from the school of major hard knocks. We come from the school of almost committing suicide. Me, since I was 6 years old till I was in my 20s, I battled with suicide. I was a homeless woman at the age of 21, pregnant at 17 out of wedlock, judged by all the Christians, so to speak, that were around in my life. And growing up in a violently abusive home, in a place where there was always lack, there was never any encouragement or love. It was just constant abuse. And so I obviously was not somebody who thought I would succeed at all. By the time I was 21, I had become a millionaire. I started a business from the trunk of my car in a payphone booth. But by 23, I became a millionaire for the first time. And I was an idiot with the money. I spent it all like an idiot. In fact, the first 10 years of making millions, we spent it all. We lived a crazy, foolish, lavish life as though we were kings, even though we had almost $1 million worth of debt. We had insane pressure. We had 5 children. Today, our 5 kids are almost all grown. The youngest is 17, oldest is 29. We have 8 grandchildren. Actually, the 8th one is on the way. And multiple businesses that we've been running for me, almost 3 decades I've been in business, have had great failures, have had great success. What I'm most excited about bringing Linda Potgieter to you, by the way, she's South African. She lives in London. She's joining us via Skype today. She started a new business, and it's a business that I think is so timely. Back to the story. I met a man who comes from generational wealth. I asked him to read the book that we had written called Grooming the Next Generation for Success. I don't know if you have this copy, but it's really, really powerful. It's about training up your children to succeed in every area of their life. So it's like, what kind of health things should your kid know? Business, communication skills, emotional skills, financial skills. Most parents don't teach their kids these important skills, which is why they're floundering out there in debt, on drugs, making a mess of their lives. And I'm not saying that if you follow everything in the book, your kids aren't going to do that. I'm just saying it's going to help your life get easier, and at least you know that you gave it your best shot. Anyway, I meet this guy, and I want to know, okay, so he reads the book. He read all the books, actually, that I had written. And he says, Dani, he goes, man, these books are awesome. They're powerful, like so powerful. And I said, well, thank you. That's like so nice of you to say. But do you have any critiques? I want to know, because you come from generational wealth. We are first generation building wealth. Our entire family is not a family that comes from wealth. We've all had a rough go. And I want to know from the generational wealth perspective, because we want to build generational wealth for our family, is there anything it's missing? And he says, yes, there's one thing. I said, what? He goes, dress code. I'm like, what? He goes, I would do an entire chapter in your book about how people dress. He says, I'm telling you, he says, it is becoming something that is lost, Dani. The way our country is dressing today and countries around the world are dressing is setting themselves up for failure. Communication happens by nonverbal. It's what you wear, how you carry yourself, what your tone is. And he says, and today, the styling and the way kids are promoting themselves through the clothing that they're choosing is not going to help them become successful. How you dress changes how you feel about yourself and how others feel about you. So when Linda had first shared with us about the new business she was starting, I knew that this was a very powerful idea and that it's timely because seriously, our country has gotten more, and that's not just our country, countries from all over the world have gotten more and more laxed in how they care for themselves. And personal care is important for a lot of reasons. And we're going to talk about what those reasons are right now. So if you are one of those men or women that you have slipped into that rut of the saggy sweats, the messy bun, not taking a shower, not washing your hair, not putting effort into yourself. And I'm not saying don't put hours into yourself. Give me a break. I don't put hours into myself at all. Give me a break. I have a busy life. I don't have time for that kind of nonsense. However, I do put time into myself and make sure that I look such a way as I present myself to my husband, whether it's a date night or it's at the end of the day when he comes home from his office. I make sure that I present myself in a certain way to the team that I work with and to my children. I could go off for like the entire show on this. I really can. I absolutely can. But I'm not going to bore you with my perspective. I want to bring on somebody who I feel represents this product, this idea, better than anybody. And that is Linda Potgieter from the UK, originally from South Africa. Linda is joining us now from Skype. Linda, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani. So good to talk to you again.
Yes. Linda, okay, first of all, how much debt? You guys are now completely debt-free. How much debt have you guys paid off?
We are 100% debt-free as of 3 days ago. We've paid off $260,000 in just under 3 years.
Wow. How does that feel?
I'm still numb. It's we've been working so hard with your program War on Debt for just under 3 years. And the day that it actually happened was at lunchtime on my 44th birthday on the 10th of May. And when you've been in prison for so long and the shackles come off, you actually, you don't know how to walk out.
Yes.
So we own nothing. We're totally business and personal debt free. And we're so grateful, Dani, just hugely grateful. Listen to your story now about that man that you met and talking about first generation of freedom and of financially free, debt-free people.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm still numb. It feels weird. Wonderful, but weird.
Yes. Linda, I'm serious. I was so excited when I heard about your business starting and what you're doing for men and women. And I really think it is hugely important. And I think it's going to explode. Now, I have to tell you this story. I recently had somebody in my house. They stayed with us for about 6 weeks. It was one of my goddaughters. And I had the first week that she was with us, I had my 6 grandchildren with me also because I was watching the kids as my daughter and her husband were on their anniversary for an 8-day trip. And she watched me every day get ready. She watched me put a nice outfit on and makeup. And fortunately, God's blessed me with a hair that I curl once a week and I throw it up on top of my head and I sleep in a bun and I pull it out and it looks exactly like this. I took no time for my hair today. So that's a blessing. And mind you, it wasn't that way when it was short, it just turns out that when it's long and I take really good care of my hair. So, therefore it performs for me. Not everyone has that luxury. But she asked me this. She's like, why are you getting dressed? And I said, what do you mean? She's like, why do you put makeup on? Why do you do your hair every day? And I said, Vonzi, my husband is coming home. My husband's going to be home today, and what do I want him to see? Not only that, but I have 3 granddaughters and 3 grandsons are here. I have my children who I've raised, and they've not seen their mother in sweats and a T-shirt with no makeup on every day of their life. They've seen their mother dressed. And mind you, my full-time job was a stay-at-home mother. That's my full-time job. I'm a part-time entrepreneur and businesswoman that we've run all these companies and made millions of dollars on a part-time basis. But my primary job, wife, mother, caregiver of the home. That's my job. I was the homeschooling mother. And so my kids did not see me lazy. They saw me put together. Now, there's various different degrees of makeup. Of course, I'm going to smoke out my eyes for a Friday night date night or a Saturday night date night with my husband. And of course, I'm going to wear a short little skirt or something, rather appealing and revealing that looks like a girlfriend would wear on the date night. But, at home, obviously, but still, I'm put together. It's not jeans and a t-shirt. It's not sweats and a t-shirt. Once in a while, yes. After coming home from a first steps, yes, I'm exhausted. I might have a day where it's sweats that day. But generally speaking, I'm not the yoga pant wearing person in my home. And I was really dumbfounded by her question. Why do you do this? I said, because my husband and my children need to see someone put together. I feel better about myself if I'm putting some effort into myself. And I'm trying to set the example for this next generation. She's like, wow, that's just weird. Same with the house being clean. Same thing, Linda. Where she's like, what? Because I would tell the grandkids, guys, Pops is coming home. We need to go over this entire house and make sure everything is in order. And she would ask me, why do you do that? So you guys eat around the table every night for dinner? Yeah. Why? I said, my husband has been dealing with high-level decisions all day long. All day long, he's been fighting battles and slaying dragons. The level of stress that he deals with, when he comes into this house, he needs to see a gorgeous face smiling at him with a kiss on his lips. He needs to smell food cooking in that kitchen and a house that is spotless and kids that are quiet and clean. That's what he needs to walk into so that he walks into peace and he can leave everything behind him that he just dealt with for 8 hours at the office. Yeah. She goes, my poor father, was her answer. My poor father. Linda, what has happened to our culture? That women have forgotten how to be women, and men have become slobs as well.
Yeah. Gosh, I agree with you, Dani. It's something I've always been passionate about. I think that there is, with the mass media and the world that we live in today, there are so many funnels of communication coming into our lives, our minds, that we allow come in, from TV to magazines, they're not glossy, they're trashy magazines, from movies to books to novels to even what's taught at schools and certain education. It's all of what other people think you should be doing. It's what other people think you should be wearing, like those. Yeah, I'm not even going to, don't get me started either. But, the heart behind what we're doing is helping women to find their unique personal style. And it's very much connected to our character. And so we want to blow the myths out there in terms of there's so many gurus. That
everyone should look like somebody else, right? So it's not about look like someone else. It's look like you and be the best you according to who you are, what your personality is, and what you want to communicate out there in the marketplace, or what you want to communicate at home to your children. This is Dani Johnson. We've got Linda Potgieter from the UK joining us. We're talking about fashion and how it communicates and how it can change your life. We'll continue with more after this.
Helping you become all you were meant to be. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Do you dream about feeling more confident, more beautiful, more powerful, but instead you're that girl that never learned to do their makeup and now you feel lost in a sea of YouTube makeup tutorials? Or you're that new mom that can't get enough sleep at night and just wants to feel pretty again? Or the busy professional that wants to magnetize brand new clients and get more respect in the office? From the boardroom to the bedroom, xmhbeauty.com will help you. Our company has a proven track record of making beauty available on any budget, from celebrities to girls just like you and me. Our live classes, step-by-step tutorials, and insider secrets will have you standing out from the crowd. Go to xmhbeauty.com/Dani today to get your free gift from us. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
We own our own business, and we were working like crazy. We have actually 3 kids and 1 on the way right now. And for me, I was working like all the time. In fact, for the last 10 years, I've been working probably close to 80 hours a week, and no time with the family. Just totally, really, actually, it was pretty awful. In fact, we were really struggling with the family dynamic, and the business wasn't growing. Just felt like it just wasn't going to happen.
previous to having kids, I had helped with the business, but then after we started having kids with each child, kind of had backed out from that more, and then really just had kind of grown to resent a lot of what was going on in the business because I just felt like it was competition for me and for my family, for my kids. I just felt like we had to constantly be competing with his work. We just felt really stuck in all aspects of life. And once he started really plugging in and I started plugging in, the main difference that I saw was just his priorities really started changing. Like, I had never really even seen him try to implement time management, really, you know? I mean, it was always just like, this is what I have to do, this is business, this is how we do it here. Our communication skills just started being so much more open between us just from spending that little bit of time together. Because he hadn't been devoting any specific time to me, literally. I was not on the calendar, there was no, I mean, we had time together, but I didn't feel honored or prioritized, or I didn't feel like anything was specifically for me. So that just like totally changed my view of him and just me wanting to support him. Just that one thing was a huge thing for me, just him putting me on his calendar. And it immediately changed the stress level in our home because there wasn't competition. You know, I didn't feel like I was having to compete for his time. Immediately, I just felt like so much more, I had just a whole different level of respect for him. Seriously, like it was like an immediate change.
From a business perspective, after plugging into First Steps and Dynasty, we actually cut my hours back. I cut my hours back to no more than 40 hours a week. Cutting my hours back to 40 was kind of stressful, but I cut it back and I found that I actually became more productive. And our business, within a year, we actually raised up 3 new six-figure income earners within our team, which just feels awesome. Our income has exploded, and we have more free time to spend with Heather and the babies, and it's just it's been amazing.
Yeah.
How much have we paid off?
We paid off $95,000 debt in 24 months. That'll be great.
It's time for a checkup from the neck up. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Come on, Dani, it doesn't matter. I mean, what's wrong with yoga pants? What's wrong with my big baggy sweats? I don't know, you tell me, how do you really feel inside? How do you really feel inside? And what are you communicating to the world that is around you? What are you communicating to those you work with, that you grocery shop with? What are you saying? Because 93% of all communication is nonverbal. 93% is nonverbal. That means only 7% of your words are even being heard, because how you present yourself, not only your tone, facial expression, but your body language. Come on. When you go on a job interview or you're going on a date, trust me, you're being watched. In fact, I recently had heard from a friend of mine who's an former NFL football player, that's exactly how the talent scouts scout out the talent. They know the minute you walk on the field whether or not you are a winner based on how you're walking on the field. It's not even playing the game yet. It's on how you carry yourself, how you dress, what kind of personal care do you have in you. Linda Potgieter is joining me from the UK via Skype. I believe she is a specialist in this field. She has just started a brand new company teaching women and men how to dress in such a way that fits who they are, not being programmed by society, but understanding what is your personality, what message are you trying to convey, and how can your clothes actually convey it. We are certainly not in any way, shape, or form encouraging you to go on a shopping spree. Oh my gosh, no. We are a community that has declared war on debt. But how do we do this and present ourselves in a way to where we get promoted in our jobs, continue in those promotions, even keep our jobs based on how we present ourselves? So Linda, go ahead. Just tell us, why have you started this business and what benefit does it have to the people that are listening?
Okay, well, thank you, Dani, so much. We are literally, May 2016 was the launch date of our company, Linda Page, and basically, it's a new image consulting business that equips women with the tools and the skills and the knowledge to dress according to their personal style, so that women and men know how to use fashion and time and money to look and feel good. And with you said it yourself, there are so many so-called experts and gurus and styles and makeovers out there. Why then are women still confused and lacking in confidence with how to go to their wardrobes every day and use their time and their money wisely to look good and feel good? And so the vision, the dream is for us to open up our boutique in Austin, Texas. That's our chosen location. We've got big plans for a glossy magazine where we're going to be celebrating real women, edifying real women, and not using size 0 skinny women who need to have a good meal.
Yes.
Because,
man, every time I see those models, even actors, like, oh my gosh, she needs to eat a large pizza and 3 cheeseburgers right now. Stat! Somebody get the woman a burger. My gosh, none of us live like that.
And they, the other thing that's really behind our heart is there are enough critics out there. We're about dressing up and building up. We're not about dressing down and breaking down. And so there is a way to build up a wardrobe and to build up a woman. And all women and men want to feel good and look good. They want to be accepted and loved, and they want to be appreciated for who they are. And as you say, 93% of all communication is nonverbal. So whether you like it or not, you are in the fashion business.
Yes.
And if you are not making an effort of learning the skills.
Wow. Hold on a second, because this is so true, Linda. So absolutely true. Because I have to tell you, you have been coming to First Steps to Success for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And I have to tell you that you have stood out of the crowd with thousands of people. Do you understand that? Like, my eye always goes towards you. And we're talking, we have the room is filled with men and women, all shapes and sizes, all ages, every demographic you can imagine, every race, every religion you can imagine is in the room. And yet, Linda, you're right. We are all in the fashion business, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And we are saying something with the choices we are making based on what we're wearing. And the bottom line, human beings do judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
That's the facts.
Absolutely.
That's the facts. So it doesn't matter how much you weigh. Yes, if you're overweight and you're obese, then for your health, for your own health reasons, you might want to do something about that. But that doesn't mean you have to be dressed bad. That doesn't mean that you don't take care of yourself. That's one thing I have to tell you, Linda, my mom was awesome about. My mom was 280 pounds and we were very, very poor. And she would say, I refuse to wear polyester and I refuse not to wear makeup. I refuse to look like a poor slob. Just because I'm on welfare and just because I'm 280 pounds doesn't mean that I shouldn't put time into taking care of and looking better for myself. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue more on this fashion conversation and you feeling better about who you are right after this.
We all have an image of ourselves that we want to portray to people. Are your clothes telling people a different story? Find out next on The Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
My name is Mario Johns. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I just want to share with you on April 14, 2013, that was the first day I heard the name Dani Johnson. And I was so inspired by her story. And I just had to find out, how did she go from homeless to millionaire? And it was just so inspiring to me. So I went on DaniJohnson.com and I started getting the daily emails, the daily fixes. And then after a while, I just stopped reading them for some reason. And August of 2013, it was 4 days before my first event. After work, I went on YouTube and I typed in Dani Johnson's name came to my mind, so I typed it in on YouTube and I sat at my kitchen table for about an hour and just listened to testimonial after testimonial. And I was just so inspired. I'm like, I have to get to this First Steps to Success. And I had no money. I didn't know how I was going to get there. The funny thing was, a week prior to this day, I got a credit card in the mail that I never asked for. It was a $1,200 credit limit. I was going to cut it up, but I figured I'd save it for like the emergency. I got my event ticket, my flight, and my hotel room. I maxed that sucker out, and I came down to Dallas, Texas. And the first 3 hours of the first day, I was just like in tears the whole time. I was just so blown away. It was something that I was just so hungry for. And prior to plugging in, I was a depressed, hopeless, suicidal drug addict. I hated myself. I hated life. I hated other people. I felt like a slave to debt, and I actually accepted debt as part of my life. I had toxic relationships, and I was, and then since plugging in, I've been drug-free for 15 and a half months now. I paid off over $13,000 worth of debt in a little over 13 months. I've completely restored my relationships with my family, my friends. I have amazing friends today from around the world. I love my life, and this is just an honor to be up on this stage. But if I just want to say, if you're new here, one thing that I wish I did is one of my favorite products is War on Debt, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't been following that as like I should be. My first event, if I got War on Debt and followed that with diligence, today I'd be debt free. So I just want to encourage you, if you're new here and you have debt, I highly recommend getting that, because that's by the end of this year I want to be debt free, and that's my goal. So please help me welcome back to the stage America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Do your clothes matter? Only you can answer that. Maybe you're not even thinking about it anymore because you might be surrounded by people who just have lost personal care. They don't care anymore. They don't present themselves in a way that is appealing, that is attractive. I don't care if you're a size 50. You can still present yourself in such a way that is attractive. I see it all the time. And then I see the opposite all the time. Someone that's not a size 50, somebody that is a size 10 or a size 8 or a size 6 or a 1 who's not taking care of how they're presenting themselves. Listen, everything is in business especially and in life is about presentation and packaging. How you package yourself up and how you present yourself. These two things determine which path you're going to go in life. It determines who you're going to end up marrying. It's going to determine what kind of jobs you get or that you do not get. It determines whether or not you're going to keep that job. It's going to determine whether or not you get promoted in that job. It really matters on how you package and present yourself. Joining me right now, a specialist in this packaging of oneself, Linda Potgieter, joining us from the UK, has started a new website, lindapage.com. Again, that's lindapage.com. Linda, I'll let you spell Linda Page so that they can find you.
Thank you, Dani. It's Linda Page, LindaPaige.com. Thank you for that.
Yes. So, Linda, you are helping women discover who they are, what their personality is, using our GEM system, our personality system that we teach for business and for raising a family, and discovering what fits their personality in their clothing instead of being shoved down our throat what society says is success is celebrity clothing that doesn't fit maybe a person's personality, doesn't fit their styling, their coloring, and that kind of stuff. And we have people like looking like clowns trying to dress like J-Lo when they don't have J-Lo's personality or her bank account for that matter, or the stylist that she has. And so I want to ask you, how do you mesh these two things together?
Well, Dani, it was actually at First Steps to Success in 2013. You know, I had this dream since I was a kid to open this fashion business, and I'm so thankful that I took my sweet time doing other things but until I get to First Steps to Success, where I sat there about 6 months after my first event. I had this revelation that for me, I feel like I'm surrounded by mannequins all the time. Every time I meet someone, especially women, I pretend, in my mind, I dress them up and I change this and I add that and I add some bling and for me, every individual is so unique. And I sat there and I had this absolute light bulb moment where I thought, your GEMS product, which is based on the 4 individual personality profiles out there, is 100% the most powerful and most practical style profiles that I have ever come across. Because there is a load of stuff out there. There is from seasonal stuff to color-based stuff to there's so much. Why then are women and men still confused? And the genius of your product is that it's connected to our heart, it's connected to our character. And so in my mind, I was trying hard to pay attention and take notes, but I had this explosion going on in my head about this is the style profile for men and women on how to dress, because it doesn't just edify how you're made and who you are and your unique self, but what it comes with is a practical system that you can actually, style is a skill. Yeah. And a lot of people think that you either have it or you don't, and actually you can learn it. Yes. You just need to be able to, you want to be prepared to take the time to invest the time and the money to learn the skill. And when I say money, I do mean, I'm speaking as a recently debt-free woman. I am so for the fun budget shopping.
Yes, absolutely. Linda, hold the line 1 second. We have Christine West on the line from Newark, California. When we asked the question, do your clothes really matter? She has an answer for that because we wanted to know from our listeners of the show what they felt about it. So Christine West, welcome to the show. Can we hear Christine? Christine, are you there?
Yes, thank you.
Hi. So what about you?
Hi.
We're bringing you into the conversation with Linda and myself. What do you think about this?
Well, my comment said, ideally, no, it wouldn't matter. If our presence was as stunning as it could be, it wouldn't matter what we wore. And I'm not contradicting what you said, but if a person's in a place where they feel powerless to dress the way they feel like they like, they just need to know that, the most important thing is that if they're living completely the way they're designed to live, and if they're full of hope and love and joy,
but doesn't that come out? But doesn't that show in how they present themselves?
Oh, definitely. And as they clothe themselves with sincerity, like truly good works, that's going to shine through their appearance. So if they're fully surrendered to Daddy God and they've humbled themselves, and He will promote them no matter what they're able to wear.
But Christine, hold it. I am so going to argue with you right here. So we have Queen Esther. How did she show up at that beauty pageant, honey?
Right. So what I was about to say was, of course, He's going to provide the clothes needed to do what He's called us to do. But initially, if a person is sitting there homeless and alone, they need to know that if they just completely surrender themselves to their designer,
But what, Christine? No, hold on. You're talking about such a small percentage of the population. Let's get freaking real. Let's talk about your girlfriends. How many of them are in yoga pants? How many of them are in yoga pants and sweats? How many of the women you go to church with that are in yoga pants and sweats during the week, hair in a messy bun, soccer mom ball cap, okay? Haven't taken a shower for 3 days, and they all say they love God. I'm sorry. That is not scriptural. That is not scriptural. Period. End of story. They'll be at church with their arms raised up, worshiping God, saying they're full of hope. But the way they are presenting themselves to their husband every day, the way they're presenting to their kids every day, is not saying hope.
Yep.
Period.
What I'm saying is, if they're truly, sincerely humbling themselves, God is going to give them what they need to dress for success. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
If we put Him first, everything else is going to fall into place.
Yes, kind of. Because there's a lot of people who think they put God first, yet they are sloppy at home. They are sloppy with their communication. They are sloppy at work. And God will never promote that person. They don't get
That's
sloppy,
a good point.
does not get promoted. You're showing up at work with ripped up clothes. You're showing up at work with not taking a shower for 4 or 5 days. If you're showing up at work and you're dirty, no deodorant, not clean shaven, you ain't gonna stay there. It's really simple. So how we present ourselves, how we care for ourselves shows in our work. It shows.
Right.
If our houses are a disaster, it shows on our bodies when we get dressed. It shows in the food we don't prepare for our family, instead we're driving through. So there's a lot of people, Christine, who say, I'm fully surrendered to God. I'm closer to Him than I've ever been. Where's the fruit in your life? Where is the fruit in your life? Daniel, the prophet, was promoted. Hello? And this is crazy. I'll never forget it. In the book of Daniel, you'll see it. Why did he get promoted? He was the best looking and the smartest. Him, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. It says specifically they were the best looking, the healthiest looking out of all of the people in Israel. And that is why they were promoted to be the wise men to those kings of Babylon. Wow.
Yeah.
The church itself has become so scared of beauty.
Yes.
Right.
So scared of beauty. The church itself largely stays away from beautiful women. The church itself condemns, judges beautiful women all the time.
That's right.
And will not promote them. But I'll tell you what, you want to know, you want to talk about God, you want to bring Him in He will promote them. He will raise them up and put them in a place where they will be heard, because the church is afraid of pretty people and people who take care of themselves. So largely, they've tried to put woman in a box, put a tent over her, wash her face, grease up her hair, so that she's not a distraction to some other husband. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ticks me off beyond all belief. Anyway, I'm sorry. You hit a passionate button for me. Christine, you hit a passionate button for me, because I'm so sick and tired of it. It's disgusting to me that we have become a culture that has just said, it's okay, just pray and God will bring you those clothes. No, He ain't going to bring you those clothes. You got to go to work. You got to either go into someone else's closet, trade, borrow, barter, cook a meal to get it, do whatever it takes, because you have got to be presenting yourself the way God would have you present yourself, not the way this lazy world would present itself. Oy, oy, oy. Christine, thank you so much. I appreciate you for bringing that little sting in here. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue with more of this conversation about, yes, how are you presenting yourself? How are you dressing for work? How are you dressing for your kids? How are you dressing for the spouse? How you dress really plays a lot in how you feel. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
It's easy to get lazy about your appearance, and there are so many ways to justify it. When we come back, Dani's going to kick over all the excuses and show you a better way on The Dani Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job Domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a 6-figure business and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After taking my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts. And before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled, my fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you, maybe you're making all the money you need to, maybe you're doing great, maybe your relationships are phenomenal, but if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next First Steps to Success.
For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha. I hope you have not just settled for less. I hope you have not just become like most people today, mediocre in every sense of your life, in every sense of the word, mediocre. Listen, it is so easy to stand out in today's world because most people have just given up. Most people aren't even trying. That's what I love about our guest today, Linda Potgieter from the United Kingdom. She is completely debt-free. She's paid off 100% of her and her husband both came together, restored their marriage, paid off all of their debt, $260,000 worth of debt in the last 3 years, as well as she's just started a brand new business that I feel is a very important, very timely business. I believe it's going to be a huge business, international business, and I believe her business can help you. LindaPage.com is the website. She is actually helping women and men learn how to dress according to who they are, not according to what society is saying, but to discover what your personality is and how to dress accordingly. That's what's actually going to feed you, your design. Discover what your design is. You are birthed by the greatest designer of all designers, and he has a design for your life and a destiny for your life. And in using Linda Potgieter's at lindapage.com methods for styling, because 93% of all communication is nonverbal, and how you dress communicates something. And if you're of that personality that is actually, you'll not believe it, half of my personality, where you really love people, you care for people, you are passionate about causes, you're passionate about the poor, you're passionate about the widow, you're passionate about the sick, and your entire life is wrapped up around helping those particular things. That doesn't mean, okay, and yes, you love to grow your own garden like I do, and you love to eat organic food like I do, and you hate injustice with a passion. That doesn't mean you have to dress boring. Just because you like natural things, natural colors, doesn't mean it has to be boring. Just because you like earthy tones doesn't mean it has to be boring at all. But you can present yourself in such a way where there is an inner strength, not pompous, not prideful, not arrogant, but there's the inner strength of who you are, because I just listed what your strengths are if that's your personality and how to communicate that. Now, there's other personalities that are naturally really strong, really bold, really much so in your face, and they also can get into a rut when it comes to styling and what they are communicating, because what you wear says something. It says something to everyone who is seeing it. Either it says lazy, sloppy, and I don't care, or it says wow. And wow doesn't have to be a 36, 24, 36. Not at all. And wow doesn't have to be 24 years old. Wow can be 60 years old. Wow can be 80 years old. My gosh, look at Judge Janine. She's like 63 years old and she looks like she's 25 and she wears these amazing clothes and she looks awesome. Beautiful. Amazing arms. She's challenging me because she's 20 years older. Not even 20 years older. Anyway, Linda, the website's Linda Page. How are you teaching? What's the method of which you are teaching people how to find, first of all, who they are and how to learn this skill of style and this nonverbal communication through the clothes that we're wearing? Is it through books or tapes or webinars? How is it? How are you doing this?
We have actually run a couple of webinars. So what I learned at First Steps, Dani, was we have a business, and my mistake in the past was to base our business on our talent. So what I've learned from you is I'm building a system, a recipe that women and men can follow. So we are doing a few things. We are building an environment and a platform, a rapidly growing community where we have already run a couple of webinars on what style is, what fashion is, and how you can use fashion to identify your own style. As I said, GEMS is pretty much the DaniJohnson.com product is the foundation to the 4 simple, powerful, practical styles that people can identify their own personal style through. But we're running webinars. We've got social media posts that we are scheduling and designing and putting up for going out. There's an October online course that's going to be our first big online event where we are going to be taking our clients through 10 steps to making you the style guru. So we don't want our people to be relying on what the industry says out there, because what the industry says is basically fashion fads. We want to build a system and lock people into that and give them their own recipe to follow based on their unique design. And if they go to lindapage.com, they can also find a free style profile where we give some top tips and your best bits. There's some very basic stuff that you can start with, but the 10-step process is pretty much, if you don't know where to go and if you're lacking direction right now, then the 10 steps is where you want to start. It's just a practical approach to style is a skill, and anyone can learn it if you're prepared to invest the time.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of style, I've always had my daughter and one of my goddaughters dress me, especially for First Steps to Success, because I'm a rut kind of person. I have a lot of clothes in my closet I've had for 25 years. And I, in the past, let's just say I can get into a rut and I don't feel good about the rut that I'm in, but it's interesting what happens that when somebody goes into your closet and they mix and match things that you never would have put together, and that's usually what I end up wearing on stage in front of thousands of people, is stuff that my daughter or that my goddaughter, and again, they're in their early 20s, I'm in my late 40s, where I've had other people dress me, and then it kind of spurs some creativity because I'm not a creative person. That's not my primary personality trait at all. I'm a very systematic, routine, kind of scheduled person. And creativity pretty much only happens in the kitchen, and that's about it. We've got Melanie on the line from Bath, Maine, who also has a comment about how she feels that do clothes really make a difference in how you feel. Melanie, please give us your comments on that.
Yes, Dani, I'm honored to share today. My name is Melanie Hines. I live in Bath, Maine, a small town of 10,000. And it doesn't matter where you live or what size you are. Yes. I used to be 187. I'm now 154. Woo-hoo! And even when I was 187, nobody knew I was overweight because I know how to dress. Yes. I mean, I just know how to dress. I know my body, and I know how to dress it, so it always looks its best. And the best thing that I do it for, Dani, now is my relationship with my husband. Yes. We've been married 15 years. I got married late in life at 35. I just turned 50 last September, and I'm in the best shape of my life that I've ever been in because I'm a representative of Christ when I walk out that door. And you know what? I'm the temple of the living God. So you don't dress the temple shabbily. That's so right. I look my best whether I'm in jeans. I'm in really nice jeans from Buckle.com, by the way, my favorite company.
My favorite jean place as well.
Long enough for somebody that's 6 feet tall with 36-inch inseam. And I just love dressing nice. This morning, I'll give you an example. When I work out at home, and I wear stuff that my husband likes.
Yes.
And he walked by this morning, and I'm doing my workout, and he goes, "Wow, I can watch you all day long." You learn from your husband when you're 50 and he's 42.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful to God that he brought me an amazing man who appreciates the fact that I like to work out and that I look good when I work out. And, and when I'm at home, I wear stuff that is attractive to him.
Yes.
I love my girls.
Yes.
And and I...
That's awesome.
And, he's a fireman and he works 24-hour shifts. I look good when he gets home.
Amen.
It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and I look good when he's around.
Amen.
It increases our passion in our marriage. And I've had girlfriends say to me, "Why do you still make such an effort to look good for your husband when he's coming home?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Gosh, man, that question just makes me so mad. I'm telling you, that just infuriates me beyond all belief. Oh my gosh, Melanie, the three of us must have come out of the same womb. We have the same mindset because yes, we should be, and we are temples of the Holy Spirit, and that is not junk, and that is not lazy. That is beauty. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
My name is Chelsea Drinkard. I am 25 years old and from Tampa, Florida. And like most college students, I was a recent college graduate, got my first big corporate America job. That were all we were told we were supposed to do. But I had a problem. Within the first couple weeks, I found myself crying every single day after work. I thought I was going to get fired. I was on a path to financial destruction, and I had no idea how to communicate with my family or my boss. Within the very first 6 months of plugging into DaniJohnson.com, War on Debt, and First Steps to Success, I annihilated $2,500. And, weird pause. I also increased my value so much by applying First Steps to Success and what you're about to learn right now, gems, that I was offered a promotion, and I received a 10% increase in my pay. When I did decide to leave the business, I became so valuable, the CEO pulled me aside into his office for a private one-on-one meeting, asking me what they could do to keep me. Not only that, since then, I've just started through War and Debt. I'm hosting War and Debt weekly classes. I'm facilitating War and Debt webinars. I'm living life by design, not by default, like the rest of my other friends who are stuck in debt in their 20s. And not only that, I'm going to Thailand for the 3rd time this November. I'm working with women and children rescued from the sex trafficking. So I don't know about you, but all I know is if you want to have better relationships with your friends and family, you want to increase your value at your work, you want to expand and grow your business, get more done in less time, I urge you, sit on your seats, pull out your pen and paper, turn off your phone, lean forward and hold on to every single word that Dani says, because this will change your life.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
I'm so sorry. This was a passionate show. I did not think it was going to be passionate. We had today lindapage.com, the owner of that business, Linda Potgieter, from the UK. Fashion specialist, in my personal opinion, represents her brand very, very well. And this is about what? Take what you already have. Learn, first of all, who you are, what your design is, your personality, your character, and be able to dress it in such a way that really shows who you are. We've gotten into a rut in this country and in countries around the world where we are a mess. We got to hear from 2 women. We had a nice little debate with one, and I wanted to just celebrate with the other about the fabulous attitude that she had at 50, still making sure she looks good every day for her husband and for her children and people that are around her, and dresses according to how her husband likes to see her. And obviously, when your husband's eyes light up and go, wow, which is what my husband did last night, it encourages you and you feel better about yourself. So again, the website is lindapage.com. That's PAIGELINDAPAIGE.com. Again, lindapage.com. Please go there right away. Get into one of her webinars immediately and begin to learn the skill of style and begin to learn to discover who you are and how to dress in a way that truly represents who you are. You're going to feel so much better about yourself if you do this. And by the way, you heard about First Steps to Success from Linda. Her and her husband, Jan, are multiple-time graduates through that seminar, as well as creating a dynasty where their marriage was completely restored. They've learned successful business tips and paid off all of their debt, $260,000 worth of debt in 3 years. Yes, you can learn how to do the same exact thing. This whole idea, lindapage.com, was birthed from her experience at First Step Success, taking some simple tips that we teach about discovering your personality and learning the personality of others, and her combining it with her fashion sense. Wow, this is an incredible idea that I believe is going to help a lot of people feel better about themselves, both men and women. First Steps to Wealth is a gift that we would love to give you. If this is your very first time joining us on the show, here it is. It's a book. It's almost 300 pages, jam-packed with knowledge, skill, and ability that's going to help you get raises in your profession, mend up some relationships, take some stress out of your financial life, and be able to improve overall every single area of your life. It's a story about how I went from homeless to millions, and I give the exact same strategies that took me from the trunk of my car to a millionaire inside of 2 years. Call our office now, 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. Call now. We will ship you that $15 book if you pay for the shipping. You pay for the shipping to get this to your house, we'll cover the cost of the book. If you'd like an ebook copy of it, go to the website, DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. And by the way, 100% of the proceeds of all of our products and seminars goes straight to taking care of the widow, the sick, and the poor, and those who have been sex trafficked. And I do not take a salary or any of the profits for myself. So go there and help yourself. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us. Have an awesome rest of the day.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people, as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good. Just click it. I know you can see it. It's somewhere down here. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.